They have been my most favorite tools since a little more than 3 decades that I've been working with foundational learning. Stories can simply connect. Welcome to the 10th episode of Shiksha Sarathi. We started this program coinciding with the National Curriculum Framework for Foundation 2022, and in 2023 we have the National Curriculum Framework draft for the entire school education, giving our teaching learning system a new direction. From our next episode onwards, we will try and address a wider expanse of levels and what we can do to make this draft from foundation through the schooling levels a reality together. So today we are going to be talking about storytelling as a teaching learning tool. We are starting the 10th episode with the importance and variations of stories, and we will find another time to actually talk about the many ways of storytelling in our beautiful country. They have been my most favorite tools since a little more than 3 decades that I've been working with foundational learning. Stories can simply connect to children, let them have fun, understand concepts. They can be stories for maths and stories for science using different kinds of resources, stories for thinking and stories to learn to be nice, stories with music, puppets and a story wall. You can simply and so beautifully use them all. Feelings and emotions and expressions too. Each time you can use something new. And sometimes a very mundane story can become the anthem for your class, and children may want to listen to it again and again, and the same thing can happen at home also. So stories are not only important for children, but they're also very good observation tools for teachers who make storytelling a part of their classroom routines. We see also so much of enhancement in the skills of the teachers, the expressions, the confidence, the different tools they bring in, and we can see a whole storyline bloom with the imagination of the teacher who reimagines her classroom to become an absolute place of listening, learning, expression and fun. So how do we explain these concepts or storytelling right from a 3-year-old? So I distinctly remember, 34 years back, when I walked into the class for the first time, my heart beat fast, and I saw a whole class of children running around, and the nursery in charge looking at me and saying, let me see you manage them, and very strictly said the date on the left, the moral of the day in the middle, and the present and absent on the right, and that's how you start your day. For a classroom of running excited children, I didn't believe it. So what I did was I sat on the floor and I took out my little story bag and I rang the bell and I said, okay, so do you want to listen to a story? And lo, the class slowly calmed down, and a few children came, sat down, inching closer, to kind of sit closer to me to see what I have brought for them, and the class settled down. So simple tools are easy to find. You can find them locally in the environment and are relatable to children. So you can start storytelling by choosing a character for your classroom. So why one character when you can weave in so many neat stories? Well, it becomes a conditioning of the mind. And the minute the children see the character or puppet, it could be a stick puppet, it could be a soft toy, it could be a finger puppet, a pop-up character, and the children will know it's story time and come and settle down with you. So that's just like so we are going to meet Panda from the Square Panda team, who loves stories and he loves to sing them too. So one day his teacher asks Pan how he stays so happy. So Pan tells her that he will sing her a story of his happiness. He says, well, this goes and I'm going to tell you my happiness story. So, are you ready? Lollipops and chocolates and sandwiches and noodles, drawing and coloring and paintbrush and doodles, pretty ribbons, and light yellow strings. These are a few of my favorite things. Fairies and elves with sashes so white, a little pony jumping and zebras' black stripes, peacocks and parrots and their pretty wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Apples and mangoes and red cherries too. Even a pencil, smart and new. The little stick that my little dog runs and brings. These are a few of my favorite things. So when I'm not happy and I feel sad, I simply remember my favorite things. Pretty red, yellow ribbons and light yellow strings. Peacocks and parrots and their pretty wings. I can be happy and I can be sad. It does not make me good or bad. I can be angry and I can be mad. I can be tired and I can be low. It is what I feel and it's good to know. Do you know? He explained to his teacher how his mother teaches him to be grateful and remember all the small, nice things around. And with just something as simple as, the pretty red, yellow ribbons and the peacocks and parrots, you can make the children start a conversation on how they feel. The older children can write about it, the younger children can express it, and stories can become such an integral part of the social emotional development. Read a story to your children every day. Use the mother tongue if you feel they respond to it better, but try and use pure languages. Encourage them to choose a book that they want to read with you. You can spot a character from a story narrated and you can ask them to search for that character in the book. Settle into a comfortable and relaxed space and read the story in a flow. Try not to take breaks from the session when the children are just getting interested, and put a board outside. Important work in progress. Do not disturb. It's story time now. Teach the children to look after books as you read them, how to turn pages carefully, and how not to make dog ears. Not to write on books, and encourage them to read and read. Play a game of spotting the words that they recognize. As they develop the skills, get them decodable books that they can slowly start reading on their own and enjoy their own story time. So I'm going to tell you the story of an apple just to give you another perspective of storytelling. The apple says, I was juicy and round. I was bit with strong teeth and chewed without a sound. The tongue tasted me and said, oh, this is really sweet. The saliva made me soft and it was said that it was a tasty treat. I went down the food pipe really narrow and thin. I sailed and landed in the stomach within. Oh my God, what a sight. The juices churned me left to right. Just as I settled and thought I was fine, I got nudged and pushed into the small intestine. Oops, I yelled, this place is so dark and tight. Don't worry, said the pancreas and liver. We will make you softer than ever. So liquid and soft, the blood vessels sucked me fast. Oh, I thought now my journey is over and this is the last. But no, the last bits were sent to the large intestine. That is where I lost all the water of mine. I left all the nourishment and looked about. Now I'm going to find my way out. So just imagine the kind of stories that you can do. So get your books, weave your stories, plan different stories that address more than one domain. Invite grandparents and parents for storytelling sessions and just enjoy the journey. I think that's one very, very important part of storytelling. I did two different kinds of stories with you. One was a story with little bit of rhythm and music, and one was like a science story where you're actually talking about how the food starts and how it kind of finishes the whole process. So stories can, and I did not do the routine stories because those are much simpler to do and imagine. So stories can be varied, stories can be fun, and they can be in different forms. For the next episode, we are going to be talking about gratitude and just simple things that can take our children's life forward. So a Harvard study, the grant study that actually saw people from youth to old, said that the people who were happy, satisfied with their relationships at a particular age were the healthiest when they were about 80. So journeys and research can be taken and understood so beautifully. So definitely we will be bringing you a beautiful new episode, and see you then. Bye bye.
Square, square, panda.